Okay, today, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. Today we are going over the OEL trade, the Oliver Ekman-Larson trade, taking him from the Arizona Coyotes to the Vancouver Canucks, which everyone unanimously said, don't do this, it's a bad trade, why are we doing this? OEL is not as good as people think. And I think this gets filed under the Jim Benning because he was a GM of the Vancouver Canucks at the time. But Aquilini is the owner, and he has a lot of control and a lot of pull. I mean, it's his team. Aquilini is the old owner, so he wants his team made a certain way, which is he's not a hockey guy, but he owns the teams. You listen to your guy. So I think this ends up being the fault of Jim Benning, but it was still a bad trade, and it does go on his record, unfortunately. But we're gonna go over the complete failure of it, what it has been for the Vancouver Canucks, and how great it's been for the Arizona Coyotes so far. So if you like more content like this, or you want to see me go over trades, hit that like, hit subscribe, tell me down in the comments which other trades you want me to go over. If you think they're a win, if you think they're a loser, let me know, because to me this is it's honestly blown away. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because Conor Garland is now been told that he can go and look to get a trade somewhere else. He got a new agent, and now he's looking to get potentially a new team as well. So, and it's the last piece of the OEL trade for the Vancouver Canucks. And so I want to go over why this has been such a failure so far. So let's just jump right into it. So here's the original trade we have right here. You have Anton Roussel, Jay Beagle, and Louis Eriksson. A first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a seventh-round pick, all going to Arizona in exchange for 12% of retained Oliver Ekman-Larson, so about $1 million. And which, by the way, that's a crazy amount of money. And then signing rights for Conor Garland, who he ended up signing in Vancouver. So I'll tell you the original reason why the Vancouver Canucks decided to do this is because they wanted to pick up a player, right? And they wanted to offload some cap, right? So you can see here they did get some money back, but then using a lot of that to sign Conor Garland. Actually, most of that to signing a little bit more than that to sign Conor Garland. But they want to move off these bad contracts. But the reason it's a bad trade is because, one, you're picking up a player like OEL, which you didn't need to. You gave away a first-round pick for it, and a second. And the player that you got in exchange is not that good for how expensive he is. So and also these guys, Anton Roussel, Jay Beagle, and Louis Eriksson, were only going to be on contract for another year, and then they were gone. They were off your thing. So you didn't even have to exchange those guys. You didn't have to dump those guys. They would have gone away at the end of the season. So, and the thing is, crazy thing is that the Vancouver Canucks didn't make the playoffs. Like you see here, they finished fifth in their division. I don't know where everyone else finished, but like, they fired their coach halfway between, and Bruce Boudreau did a great job rebounding them. 32-15 and 10. That's way better, right? Finishing off much better season, but to me, it still wasn't worth it to go all in on this team. To me, Vancouver Canucks just didn't have enough good pieces at this point. But again, I can see what you see when they made the trade, though. They made it before when they had coach Travis Green. And so the team didn't know where they're going to be. Again, a new coach kind of gives you a new fire, but to me, it was still a bad trade. So let's go over the parts real quick, just to go and just to show you why it was a bad trade and why Arizona's really making out of this. So just do the OEL part of it, the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver Canucks actually had OEL. He actually ended up being bought out. This past season, he was bought out. You could see the buyout schedule. So, and with Quinn Hughes just signing that 8-year contract, he's going to be on the books for the next 6 years. And this 2023-2024 season isn't bad, but then you see that it exponentially gets worse in 24-25, 26-25-26, and 26-27 with that cap hit going up. So you're pretty much handicapping yourself, and the cap is supposed to go up. But essentially, what you're doing now is, if the cap goes up $4 million, you're not getting an increase. Same with this year. If it goes up again, you still get that bump, but you're still taking out $4 million that you can't work with. So to me, it doesn't make sense to do it. It makes sense to do it, but you shouldn't have done the trade in the first place. So, but we're neither here nor there. Now the Oliver Ekman-Larson is now playing with the Florida Panthers at like a $2 million deal, or $2.5 million. Much better value for what the player actually is. Because if you look at him as a player, he has some stats. He is a capable player. So $2.25 million. If you go down to his stats here, I forgot. He's a play forward. You go to Was with Vancouver, 24 and 79, not great, right? But 20 and 54, that's a capable player, right? Like he's cheap, relatively cheap, right, for the Vancouver Canucks. He kind of fluffs up the defense because the defense is going to be suck for the first couple months because of Ekblad and Montour being out. But anyways, that's just crazy to me. So, and then now moving on to the next part of the piece is Conor Garland. Conor Garland, again, they used most of that cap hit that they saved to sign him for the $4.95 million. But a fairly productive player, maybe a little overpaid for who he is, right? So at this time, he's signing it right in between these two seasons here, the 39 points. So popping off at 52 points, 77 games, good production, right? 46 and 81, not amazing, but now he's playing second line, and he's playing a second line winger position. So if you can get a similar production out of that, I mean, ideally you want more like the 60 points, but we haven't seen that yet out of him. So, but again, maybe a little overpaid. But if Vancouver can retain $1 million, they can probably offload him for less than what you think. I mean, just to give you an example, Mark Stahl went from the Rangers to the Red Wings. He was a $5 million cap hit. This was 2 years ago, and it cost the Rangers a second round pick to send him out with Vancouver. So again, not only is Vancouver sending out a first, a second, a seventh, and the cap done guys won't count them, but they're sending out assets, a first, a second, and a seventh. Potentially they'll have to send out another second round pick just to get rid of Conor Garland. Hopefully they can get some value for him and they don't have to cap or just dump him off. But there is some value in having cap space available. So, so that's the big thing. So again, here's that Oliver Ekman-Larson. But now I want to go over some of the other parts of this trade that we were just talking about. So cancel out some of these guys. So we're going to the other side of the trade, the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes, again, did very well. This is very smart of them. So again, we have the Antoine Roussel, Jay Beagle, Louis Eriksson. Crazy enough, Louis Eriksson, 19 points in 73 games, and then his contract was done. So he went to the SHL and no longer part of the team. Didn't have to worry about him. All right, well, that's that piece. Again, it's just capped up. So these guys are gone already. And you don't make the playoffs anyways, so why did you bother in the first place? So, but mind you, Vancouver is considered, I think they're considered a smaller market team. There's a lot of hype around. There's a lot of activity with the fan base, but the owner is really focused on making money, and being in the playoffs makes you money. So I think that's kind of the goal, is having a good team is really valuable because you sell more tickets, right? Sell more games and everything. So I think that's one of the reasons that they choose to try and be active and try and be in that playoff race all the time. So here is Jay Beagle, 2 points in 33 games. Again, retired. He's gone. Anton Roussel had 8 points in 53 games. And then he went to France, and now he's done. So he's retired as well. So again, those are all the pieces of capped up. So that's it. That's the only thing you needed from that part. And so that was a smart move, just taking on this money and honestly reaching the cap floor for the Arizona Coyotes, which has been a problem in the last couple of years. So moving on to the big piece, the core piece for the Arizona Coyotes is Dylan Guenther. I believe he plays center as well. No, he plays right wing. So he's a right winger, drafted 9th overall, 15 points in 33 games. Again, he's like 20. He's really young. Let's go. Oh, I can't play this because it's NHL stuff. He signed it at 18. He's 20 right now. So, again, here is a young player, 15 points, 33 games on a bad Arizona team. He's going to be a huge staple. He hasn't played yet. He's playing in the AHL right now, but he's going to be a piece, one of the young pieces that's going to be part of that core that Arizona has been building for quite a long time, but they're making smart moves now. So, moving on to the next piece. So you have the second round pick. So Vancouver did not use the second round pick to pick Hunter Hayet. They ended up trading this. They ended up making a trade with the Minnesota Wild for the signing rights for Jack McBain. And I thought that was really smart. I like Jack McBain. And if we go to his stats right here, Jack McBain with the Arizona Coyotes, he in the 10 games, he had 3 points. Last year, he had 26 and 82, and he's only got to play one game this year. But he puts up quite a few penalty minutes. Last year, 64 penalty minutes. So, he's got a little bit of a tough streak to him. And he just re-signed a 2-year contract, I believe, at, almost 1.66. Yeah, that $2 really mattered, right? So, again, another small piece. He traded a second-round pick for him. I think he was drafted If we go to where he was drafted, I think he was drafted in the 3rd round. So he has got some credibility. He was signed at late. He was an overager at signed out 21 or 22. So, but again, an established player, 23 years old right now, still young, still can break out. Probably be like a 40. Probably can get like 40 or 50 points out of this guy. So, not bad for a 2nd round pick. And then another piece, that 7th round pick right here, the 2023 7th round pick, was traded to the San Jose Sharks. Right here, you can see it's a 7th round pick. They ended up, I mean, there's only one spot, right? They picked up Adam Zelinka. I mean, he's a 7th round pick. He was just drafted this past summer, so not much to do with him. I mean, he's still playing the USHL. 24 points in 56 games. I think he's a center as well, if you remember correctly. No, he's a right winger. So he's young. Again, no contract yet, but he's young as a project. It's an extra pick, right? You know, so in the deal where you got that 7th round pick. So to me, this is crazy. It's the whole deal is just crazy to me, and I can't believe it happened. And I just don't understand what Vancouver is thinking, and I'm just confused because now Arizona's got 2 great pieces out of this, right? And they have Dylan Guenther and Jack McBain, and then now the Canucks are left with the remnants of an Oliver Ekman-Larson contract, right? Because it's going to last there for the next 6 years. You can't move that. And then you're trying to move out Conor Garland as well. So hopefully he can find a spot where he's wanted. Again, maybe a little overpaid. So I don't know if they're going to try and I don't think they want to retain on this, because I don't think the Vancouver Canucks have much cap space at all. I mean, if we go to their let's see, if we go to their space, let me pause real quick. Yeah, so if we look at their cap space, they don't have any. Their current cap space is $137,000, so they don't have any projected cap space for the rest of the year. So they don't want to retain on that, right? Because if they're going to try and make the playoffs and they're going to try and make some moves, you have your JT Millers, you have your Patterson, who's a 100-point player. JT Miller's up there as well. So they're going to want to make progress. So they're not going to want to retain on this. So they're going to have to send out a pick for this. So we'll see. I'm curious. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I'm confused. I don't know what their plan is, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Any Vancouver fans or Coyotes, honestly Vancouver fans, because I don't know what's happening. I just don't understand what they're trying to do. They made some decent moves with the Hronek trade. I don't know why they moved out Horvat. I thought that was a fine contract what he was asking for, but I understand you kind of had to trade between JT Miller and Bo Horvat. I would have chosen Bo Horvat over JT Miller, but that's just me. Let me know what your thoughts are, Vancouver fans. I'm a big fan of Quinn Hughes, by the way. I love that he's captain. Huge fan. I actually thought he would be going to Jersey to go play with his brothers eventually, but signing the 8-year contract just solidifies it. So, and at a great cap hit. Honestly, he picked a great cap hit. That's a very team-friendly deal, and so I'm really surprised that he decided to do that. But hey, that's exciting for Vancouver fans. You got a great player on you again, and I miss Philip Hronek. I really liked him on the Red Wings. So, anyways, hit like, subscribe, comment. Love you.